Everyone, it's Patty from PS Paper Crafts, and I wanted to show you another Christmas card. So we're in week 4 of the 12 weeks of Christmas, and I used the Christmas Quilt Builder um, suite actually to make this card. Isn't it pretty? It has a quilt square, and it's actually embossed as if a quilt, was sewn, and it's got this embellishment, and it says peace, and then on the inside, have yourself a merry little Christmas. So I used the stamps, I used the sentiments, and then this little stamp, I did this and I kind of twisted it so I'd have more of a flower look. So I used this, and then I used the quilt builder to get my frame and my quilt pieces. And I used these pretty embellishments. They're felt, and they have Christmas trees as well. So there's Christmas trees and holly and stars, so it all kind of goes together. And then here's the embossing folder that gives you that quilt look. And finally, here's some of the papers I use. So this is the Christmas quilt papers, and this is all in the holiday catalog. And I just to show you, it's page 4 and 5, and it has the whole suite here. They also have some ribbon, which I'm not using in this this card. So it's really pretty, and I think you can use this not only for Christmas, but if you're into quilts or you like quilts, even if you're not a quilter, you could make this all year round. You can do different pattern papers and different colors and for different themes. So I think I'll get a lot of use out of this. So anyway, let's get started. I'm going to make a similar card, only I'm going to make it in a green card base, garden green. This is real red, so I'm going to do garden green, and I'll do the real red scallop border, and I'm kind of just going to do the opposite of this. When you cut out your quilt with this block, if you just cut it out, and let me show you what I did. I used 4 of these 6x6 designer series paper squares, and I just used this piece and cut out all the pieces, and I saved them, and I tried to figure out which sides I wanted. So you've got a lot of choices here, and I kind of was going with the just the red and green, and then when I flipped them over, I kind of liked some of these other patterns. So I did this to make this card, and I have a lot of pieces left over, and I'll show you that. But then to get the frame, you probably can't see it, but there's actually a skinny red frame all around this. You could see the insides, but it's also around. They have a square that fits perfectly around this. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to cut out a green square. So I'm going to use my Big Shot. I have my magnetic platform on it and a piece of garden green paper. And I'm just going to lay down my square, and I'm going to center this in the middle, and it's going to give me a thin green border and make this one piece. So I thought the magnetic platform would help, keep everything in place here. So I'm going to just run this through. I'm going to drive it slow so I don't shake the camera too much. Just run it through, and then I'm going to run it back again just to make sure I get a really good cut, because it's not real intricate, but there's some pieces to it. So let's take this off, and then I'll get rid of my Big Shot. I'm going to bring it back to do the embossing now, but for now we're good. So I'm just going to punch these out. They punch out very easily, and I'm going to use some of these squares but not all of them. And I've been saving all the pieces. I've been making other projects with this, and I save the pieces, and then you can use them again. So it's pretty cool. You can get a lot out of one cut. So I'm going to put these aside, and now I have my frame, and I'll just pull this up. So I just put different pieces in, and I have, these are all the pieces from my last card. So I can pick and choose, and I can flip them over and have a lot of choices. Now there's one thing to note, is that the pieces fit in one way, and they won't fit in the next opening unless you flip it. So see, this won't fit in, but if I flip it over, it'll fit in this way. So I have all my pieces kind of grouped together in the way they would fit in. It just makes it a little bit easier when you start putting this together. So I'm going to adhere this down to the red so I get a red frame, and I'll do that with the liquid glue. You can use the fine tip glue. I like this better. Oops, I've got a little top there. Let me just get rid of that. Okay. And just very sparingly go around. Now if you get it on the inside, it's not going to be a problem because we're going to glue everything down in between. On the outside, you know, we can just get it off with one of those gum erasers if it goes over. It does dry clear, so I just would not put too much on where it kind of oozes out. Just very sparingly. I should probably have tweezers with this. That would be easier. But I like to do things the hard way. Not that I like to, but I usually end up doing it that way. Okay, so I think we've got glue down on every part of this. So I'm going to just put it down on the red base. And try to get it centered nice. Okay, and see that glue on the inside? We're going to cover that right up, so no big deal. And then you could start layering your pieces and just make sure it's down good and decide what colors you want. I kind of like this because it's got the white. I want to, you know, make it a little brighter, and I might do some more with the white. Will this fit? Nope, that's the wrong way. So let me try this way. I just want to get a feel for it. Because I want the green to kind of pop out. So I think I'll do those two. Let me just, I don't want to do red. I'm using those. What's on the other side of these? So you can kind of play with it and get what you like, but I think I do like that look. I think the green might be too green with the frame. So I think I'm going to go with these. So what I'm going to do, let me just pull them out so we can put some glue underneath. And they're already sticking a little bit. And then we can put them back in. Okay. All right, so I'm going to just put glue in each of these areas. Again, not too much, but you don't have to worry because the pieces are larger. And then you're just going to place these in. And they'll go every other one. So I think it was this one. Yes. And you really, you know, I'll still have pieces left over when I'm done with this. So you really can get a lot out if you cut a few of these. So that's not the right one. Which pile was I in? This pile. Okay. I didn't have my piles correct. So there must be another one of these. This is the one. Okay. And one more of these. And then I need one last. There we go. Okay. And then I could just leave it like this, or I can put the green. What I did with this card was I put the red in the corners and in the triangles. So let's see how that looks. I think I'll do that. We'll do the corners first, see how we like it. And you're kind of building, so it's called Quilt Builder, so I guess you're building your quilt. So let's put all the four corners in. And I could use some of these other pieces. You know, I could use these red for those, or flip them over and use that side. So I didn't want it to be too wild, so I'm going with just the solid, but you can really do whatever you wanted with this. I'm going to just get these out of the way. So I've got that. I think I will do the triangles, so just kind of do one step at a time and see how you like it. So we'll do the triangles in green as well. And here's another one. And then I'll save whatever leftover pieces. I've been keeping them kind of in a bowl. And then I go back to them when I need them. I made these out of the wood. I saw it on Facebook, and I sent them out. Actually, I saw YouTube, I should say, with the wood textured designer series paper, and it made a really beautiful Christmas card, or birthday card for a guy. Let me just show you that paper. Actually, I don't have it handy, but maybe I'll do a video on it. I did a note card, and it was just really pretty. It was very masculine. It's that real wood-looking paper, and I just did a brown outside, and it really came out nice. I liked it. So let's we'll put this aside. So the next step I'm going to do is adhere this, and then we'll put it through the embossing folder. So I am going to take this and put it down on a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and let me do it with this. And this is the layer I always use. It's 5 1/4 long by 4, and we'll put this on the card base, and the card base is your A2. It's a half a sheet of 8 1/2 by 11, and so it's 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4, and then this is just a little bit smaller. It's 4 by 5 1/4, and then we'll put this on. And this, I'll do the glue. I keep going back and forth. The glue is a good adhesive to use, because you can actually have a little bit of give when you're putting it down. So I just wanted to show you the layering square, the red one. I got that from this Layering Squares, the scalloped grouping, and it's the largest one, and it gives that a nice frame. So the next thing we'll do is run this through the Big Shot with this embossing folder. So let me get the Big Shot up here. And I'm going to take off the magnetic platform and use my regular platform. I'm just getting it here. So this is the platform. I'm going to push tab 2 over, so it's a little bit not as thick, I guess. And then we'll put the card in the embossing folder, and we'll put it in like this. And you want to make sure that you've got the embossing all the way kind of straight and all the way to the fold. And the Sizzix side facing up means that it's going to be embossed, raised up here, and it'll be debossed on this side. So you pick which way you want it. And I just want to make sure I'm all the way to the edge. And then I'm just going to run this through. Let me get the top plate. Actually, let me put the bottom plate on. I didn't do that. So we're going to have a bottom plate on this one, and the embossing folder. Make sure everything's lined up there. And then the top plate. Trying to make sure we're in camera. I hope we are. And I just moved it. So let me do this again. It's a little bit tight on my workspace here. Okay. Put that down, and we will run it through. And again, I'm going to run it through on the slow speed. It's a little bit, because it's on this pad, it's slippery. So I'm trying to just do it so it doesn't shake the whole camera and it doesn't slide off. So now we've got this done. Let me move this all aside. And isn't that gorgeous? So see, this is raised, and then this is the debossed side. So you could do it the opposite and have this on the outside, whichever way you like. I mean, it's really up to you. So let's put the card back in. Now we're going to stamp our sentiments. And I have a piece of Whisper White. This is 2 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch, and this is 2 3/4 by an inch. So it should give us a nice layer. And I'm going to stamp this in the real red. I already have the stamp mounted. So let's put that on. I'm going to do it kind of toward this side, but not too far to the end because we're going to give it a little fishtail. Okay. And let's do our inside while we have the stamp pad out. So I have that mounted as well. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. I love the font on this. I think it's really pretty. And then I'm going to do that little kind of flowery thing in the green, the garden green. And I'll show you how I did that. I just took it and I stamped it. And then I stamped it a second time, only I twisted it a little bit. So I thought that was pretty. Do the same thing, just twist it. And you can see through these stamps, so you can see, you know, where you're putting it, which is pretty cool. Okay, done with the stamping. Now let's adhere this, or actually before we adhere it, we want to do the fishtail. So I'm going to line it up right to the edge, and I have this triple banner punch, and you can feed in different size paper. And there's grooves for specific sizes, but you can put any size in here. I don't think it really matters. You just have to line it up on this side. So you're going to look through and see that it's out there. I'm doing them both together so we get the same cut. The other way, if you don't have that punch, is to just cut down the middle and then cut each side. And then I'm going to offset this a little bit and just snip that off. So let me adhere this down to the red, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a border, and then I'll cut this off, this little tail here. Okay, and then let's adhere this to the inside. Get it kind of right in the middle. And then we can adhere this down. Now I put this down with the liquid glue because we're putting it on a bumpy surface, and I think it's better than this snail. You could use fast fuse as well if you had it. I like the liquid glue. I think it works really well. And we'll put that down there. And then let's see, what do we want to put on here? We can put holly or a tree or a star. So let's see how they look. Here's the holly, just like the other one. The tree, oops, it's the other way. Or the star. I think I'm going to go with the star. I also put this on with liquid glue. I think you could probably do a glue dot or the fast fuse as well. So I'm just press this down, and then the last thing I did was I put some gems on. I put one in the middle, then I put them around here. I think I'm going to put it on the star this time instead. So let me get my scissor out and just lift. I'll do a big one right in the middle. Kind of defines this a little bit, and then I'll do this size right in the star. Okay, so we have our second card done, and let me know which one you like, the green or the red. I think they're both pretty. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I'm going to have to leave this on a little bit longer. I think I'll put something on it. I'll put a block on it and let it set. Just till it dries. So give me a thumbs up if you like this, and stay tuned for next week. We'll do week 5. We're moving right along. You have a good day. Take care. Bye.